we are educating, or we believe we're educating at least people that are going to have very influential positions. And what we're trying to do is to actually make them aware of what they're doing when they're taking certain decisions. Not just go through the motion and see it as a yes or no decision or as a practical thing, but actually as a political decision. Because all decisions are facilitating or highlighting certain interests to the detriment of others. So what are the implicit values that are behind what we learn and the knowledge that we apply? I mean, and the method is based very much on dialogue. If we are to unveil the values that the students have and that we ourselves teachers have, we need to be able to start talking about the issues and see through our talk what values are implicit, right? So yeah, I use different techniques, teaching pedagogical techniques, to make them talk. Taking them outside of the classroom and going out to the street to talk with a homeless person and see, so that they realize the immense amount of knowledge these homeless people have. And the way I'm doing it is actually by bringing in the social sciences. They have excellent tools to understand social hierarchy and social difference, social reproduction, or reproduction of social difference, stigma, symbolic violence. You know, after we've been discussing a particular teaching case on a real life situation, so introducing microfinance in Sweden, right, and how that is reproducing certain stereotypes of particular groups in society, like of immigrant women. I engage them in a role play, where one of them is playing the role of the black woman, and another one is playing the role of the banker, and another one is playing the role of the person who tries to build a bridge between these two, right? When they get into those roles, they realize how difficult sometimes, or what certain decisions are doing onto the people on which the decision is imposed, in a way, right? And so we start discussing, what is it that we're doing? What are stereotypes of that black woman actually contributing to her being outside society, right? So what are the values, what is the implicit values of the knowledge we're learning? Is it really everything to blame on her? Or is it the very efforts to try to help her, actually positioning her in a situation where she is the helped and you are the helper, and that's reproducing hierarchy, right? And how do we move beyond that kind of charity helping mentality into seeing the value of the other and facilitating, making space for the other actually to take her own decisions? And I worked, I mean, for many years as an ethnographer. So you go, you study the communities that you want to study, and then at the time I studied, you know, immigrant neighborhoods in northern Stockholm, and then you talk with them, you get really engaged, whatever, and then you go back to your office, and you bring with you a lot of quotes and a lot of experiences with which you write a book, right? You bring with you also a lot of, you bring with you the frustrations in their lives, and you cannot do much about them. You just write your book and you make your career. And as I was doing it, I realized that I was part of the problem. You know, they were frustrated because they were being looked upon as poor immigrants. And everybody, you know, they were not able to shape the public debate. They were immigrants, that's it. And immigrants are like this, that's it. And there I was, knowing this, and yet writing about immigrants, right? And making them interesting because they were immigrants, not because they were this citizen that helped, you know, the girls in the neighborhood. And so that made me rethink the way I do my work. And so I started to do what I now call engaged scholarship, where I'm intervening in the field. I mean, it's ethnography in a way, but I'm taking a much more active role. And so one of the things I've done is I started an initiative that creates platforms for these communities to shape the public debate, actually. They don't get access to the established communication channels. They don't get access to the newspapers or whatever. So what they do is they take a wall and paint what they want to say, right? And so they're raising their voices. And yeah, I'm very active in it. So I have to write in a different way. But it's very rewarding in many ways. You know, when you're in a party or when you meet someone and you start discussing what you're doing, and and tell them, well, you know, what I do in my classes is we talk about political issues, we talk about democracy, we talk about how do we raise our voices and all this stuff. They look at me and say, and you're doing that in a business school?